Oh, I forgot to put my light on. Hold on. Let's put it on. Good start as always for my Wednesday casual show. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. My peeps. What's up? Could I have redone my hair before this? Yeah, but it just wouldn't be me to not be me. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy. On this Wednesday, this is our everything show. Wednesdays, we do whatever we want to do. We talk about your lives, my life, politics, movies, television, sports, weird internet stories, personal things, otherwise, whatever you guys want to talk about on Wednesday, it's the day to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. There's a few things I want to talk about today, including the Emmys nominations. I talked a little bit about it on Christian Harloff's show. However, I did not get to talk about it to the extent that I wanted to. So I wanted to go over Emmys nominations and see who you guys thought was going to win the Emmys this year, which is my Super Bowl. I want to talk to you guys about the Epstein list. Such a fun topic. I want to talk to you guys about it because I'm curious if you guys care anymore, like where you're at with the Epstein list. Like, how much do you want it to be actually released? And then I saw this Jane's Addiction lawsuit, which I had whoa, I completely forgotten what had happened with them. I've been so sneezy recently. By recently, I mean like the last month. There's an episode of Real Rejects that we taped this week where I sneezed so big at the beginning of it, especially when I turn on lights. Steph always makes fun of me when I say this. I always say I'm a blue-eyed person. I'm a blue-eyed person because my eyes are so sensitive to light because they're very light in color. They're very obviously not blue. I've been getting asked so much recently if my eyes are green. Right now they look very brown, but they're kind of hazel sometimes, but they look super, super brown right now. But regardless, they're very light and they're sensitive to light. And anytime I turn on light or go outside to inside or whatever, I sneeze. I'm a sneezy girl. Thanks for being here, friends. Nobody's late. We just started. Welcome to the show. All right. So those are some of the things I want to talk about today. Plus, whatever you guys want to. I know it's so weird. This is like I want to like pull it up higher so that I don't look so naked. I had this vest on, but this is my mom's. I love this vest, but it does get a little itchy when you wear it for so long. But maybe I'll throw it on right now. Do you guys ever watch Trisha Hirschberger's show Naked Truth? She always does the show naked, but you can only kind of see up to there. She's so cute. I love that girl. She's awesome. Okay, so here we go. One more time, everybody feeling fine. Here we go now. NSYNC, here we go. Speaking of NSYNC, but the other ones, Backstreet Boys, I hear are amazing in Vegas. I want to go so bad. Ugh, I want to go to the Sphere. Everybody says it's the greatest. I'm so interested in that. So many unbelievable artists coming through there. In the Streamlabs, the first Streamlabs of the day coming from our very own Lloyd Nance, imprinted on Roxy, Team Stryer. Let's go, Lloyd. Thanks for the support, my dude. Also in the Streamlabs, RQMDSMD says, hi, Roxy, just sending some support. And to say there is still time to send in a donation to National Brain Tumor Society Glioblastoma Awareness Day for a matched amount. Yes, thank you for reminding me, RQMDSMD. I put this on my Insta story today. Yesterday, I got home and I had a sick flat brim hat from the National Brain Tumor Society and a fanny pack from them because they send things when you are a top donator or a supporter. And so I was so excited to get those. And then I just so happened today to be like dicking around on the website because I'm always on the National Brain Tumor Society site. And I saw that they're doing a donation match program. Let me look at who was doing it. It was this group that I didn't know. National Brain Tumor. Hold on. I'll tell you guys right now. to give them credit, because it's pretty cool when companies do this. Why isn't it popping up? MBTS. Okay, so they're doing a match right now for Strike. Their partner Stryker, Stryker, is matching all gifts up to $25,000. So if you feel like supporting the National Brain Tumor Society, today is Glioblastoma Awareness Day. Glioblastoma is the type of cancer and tumor that killed my mom. It's also the type of cancer and tumor that killed Lisa Menounos, my dear friend, Maria Menounos' mom. And GBMs are the deadliest of the brain tumors. And you guys know all these stats because I talk about them all the time, but they're vastly underfunded, and it's a good time to support, because if you can give $20, they give an extra 20. If you can give 100, they give an extra 100. So if you're looking for a time to support, other than a time when I'm walking and needing to win for my own ego purposes, I'm just kidding. Now's a really good time. They were doing it from the 14th to the 16th, so it's the last day. And yeah, it's cool that they're doing a price match on the site today. So thank you for that reminder, RQMDSMD. And to anybody who does support the National Brain Tumor Society, whether it is when I'm doing my walks or 5Ks, or whether it is on your own, or whether it is for price match days, or whether it is just spreading awareness or whatever, glioblastomas are not spoken about much, because they are, most people don't know somebody who's had a glioblastoma, or they don't know that they've known somebody. But once you do know somebody, you can't forget that one. So Awareness Day, spreading awareness. Here I am. Happy National Brain Tumor Society Glioblastoma Awareness Day. Happy feels like the wrong word. Certainly not happy. My fanny pack's sick, though. I'm going to wear that with pride. Okay. Send in Streamlabs, send in Super Chats. It's also been enough days where I feel like we can kind of talk a little bit about Superman. So in the Streamlabs, let me know if you see, this is just like a little too itchy. In the Streamlabs, let me know if you guys are doing any spoiler stuff, and I'll just say spoiler before I read anything. All right, I have a corduroy one here. Let's see. I don't usually like brown and red together like that, but I'm not out here trying to look like a nudist. I had an Uber driver last night who told me that every person in California is a nudist. And I was like, what? Not experienced that, but go on with your bad self. It's interesting. Have you guys ever been to a nude beach? I don't think I've ever been. I certainly have never gone nude on a beach like that, like to a nude beach where. Are you allowed to wear clothes on a nude beach? I don't even know the answers. Looking right now, you guys are apologizing to somebody, so let me see. Oh, Jarrett Gilbertson says, my 9-year-old nephew is currently battling brain cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Not all brain cancers are as bad as GBM, so maybe it's one of the slightly better ones, and hoping for comfortable, long, enjoyable life for your family member. So sorry to hear you're going through that. And thank you to everybody in the chat for always being so kind to people who are going through things and decide to share. I think it just makes us all so much closer when we decide to be vulnerable and share things. And not every YouTube page are people as kind about when people open up. So it's really cool that the rock stars are. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer, super chat in. Are you guys more interested in me starting with Emmys stuff, or are you more interested in me starting with Epstein list? Emmys, Epstein. Emmys, Epstein. Leave your answer in the chat. I'm going to do both, but where do you want me to start? Emmys or Epstein? Write your answer in the chat. Doodah, doodah. I have all this like fake leather furniture that I've had for so long. My bed frame and these chairs. And like I've had them forever and nothing's ever peeled. And then for the last like 1 month, it's very upsetting. I need all new furniture, but like I can't bring myself to buy new furniture when I have furniture that works. It just looks like trash, but it works. Really need new stuff though. I wonder why it's all shedding now. I thought it might be because of the heat and because you guys know I haven't been putting on my AC. much, but I've done that before and it's never happened. All right. Emmys. Seems like Emmys. So let's start with the Emmys. Where are you guys at? I know I ask you guys this every year when it comes to Oscars time, and I ask you when it comes to Emmys time. And by the way, isn't it the ESPYs tonight? Where are you guys at with award shows? Do you give a shit about the Emmys? Do the Emmy nominations make you intrigued to watch any shows? Do you watch the Emmys? What do you hope for the Emmys? Uh, tell me. What are your Emmys thoughts? Do you care at all about the Emmys? The nominations are so exciting for me because I feel like it finally gets people to talk about shows that I've been talking about. And usually there's like one or two shows that I haven't seen that I'm like, okay, I have to see that before the Emmys because I haven't seen it. But I saw pretty much everything this year that was nominated. The only thing I really didn't see that had multiple nominations, I believe, was Dope Thief. I didn't see this season of What We Do in the Shadows because I watched the show and the show is fine, but it's not particularly up my alley. But I've seen multiple seasons of the show, but just didn't watch this season. Every other thing I'm up to date on completely. So what do you guys think? Let's go over starting with Best Drama. The shows nominated for Best Drama this year: Andor, The Diplomat, Last of Us, Paradise, The Pit, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus. Now, The White Lotus, its first season, was nominated only in the limited series category, but now, as of the last 2 years, it switched over to being nominated in drama, probably because it's no longer a limited series, although sometimes people don't know what is or what is not a limited series. So those are the ones that are nominated. Is there any show for Best Drama that you wish was nominated? I was pretty surprised to see Paradise nominated here. I love Paradise. I thought it was excellent, but Paradise got a lot of love, and I didn't know that people looked at it as prestige television. Andor I knew would be nominated. Everybody was talking about it. The Diplomat I was excited about because I thought that the season was even better than the first season. Last of Us people hated so much that I was worried they wouldn't get nominated, but I loved that show, and I think it should have been. The Pit seems to be like an absolute breakout of this year. Severance, I think it should be nominated probably every year it's on. So brilliant. Slow Horses, I think, is amazing. I binged it all last year and then watched in real time for the most recent season. It's slow, and it took me a while to get into, but once I did, I was like, ooh, baby, this show is well done. And White Lotus, it just seems to be a hit for people. People love this show. I kind of feel like White Lotus is more of a comedy than The Bear is, and The Bear is more of a drama than a comedy. Like, I kind of feel like those should switch places, but I'm not the one who is putting them up in certain categories. Of these, who would you like to see win? And who do you think will win? I always am going to be rooting for Severance because I just think that show is the absolute best show. But it would be extremely fascinating if The Pit won, because this is a medical drama. It's not the type of show for quite a bit of time that we see win for Best Drama, and it was truly phenomenal. So my vote would be for Severance. I love that show, and I think that it is one of the best shows of the year. And even though I didn't like the second season as much as the first season, I still think it's a top 5 show of the year. I don't know why Silo doesn't get nominated. I don't believe it was nominated first year or this year. I'm curious about that. I'm looking at other shows that I watched. I thought it was a decent season of Yellow Jackets, but I understand why it wouldn't have been nominated. I think they did a pretty good job here, though. Pretty good job. Great nominations. And hopefully people who haven't watched the show start to watch. Which one of these are you going to be watching? Mike thinks Andor should win. Jeremy says, I feel like The Pit. Leonard says The Pit should win, but Severance probably wins. Thunder God says The Pit and Arcane are the only noms I cared about. I didn't watch Arcane, sorry. Big surprise, Squid Game season 2 not nominated. Would it have been season 2 for this one? That is surprising, though. I think Squid Game is so good, and that's a bit of a bummer. I love that show. Love that show. I've loved every season of that show. I think there's a chance that Andor does win. I do think so. I would rank that on the bottom half of this list for me, even though there's not a show on here that isn't a great show. There's not one. I've seen them all, and they're all great shows. So nothing would really piss me off if it won. Some things might surprise me, but nothing would piss me off. For best comedy, we got Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows. I didn't watch What We Do in the Shadows this season. I believe it was the final season that's being nominated for. I don't think it's going to win, but I didn't see it this season. The show is not necessarily up my alley. I think it's funny. I think people love it, but it wasn't something that I was like clamoring to come back to the way that some of these others are. It's hard every year when you've got shows that are laugh out loud comedies like Abbott Elementary or Only Murders in the Building against not laugh out loud comedies like The Bear or Shrinking. I don't know whether I'm supposed to be thinking about what is the best show that's in this category or what is the best comedy. Because if it's what's the best show in this category, I don't know. I kind of think Shrinking. All amazing shows. I honestly think the comedy category is even more stacked than the drama category. But if it's what's the best comedy, maybe The Studio or Abbott Elementary. I love Hacks too, but this wasn't the funniest season, although it was an amazing season. What do you guys think for best comedy? Hacks has done pretty well at the Emmys in the past. Nobody Wants This is, like, to me, just the greatest show. I loved it so much, but I don't think it's going to pull out the W. Shrinking could do it. It'd be really cool if it did. The Studio was nominated for so many things. It's like the most well-rounded best done, I kind of feel like, is Hacks. I also think that people didn't love the season of The Bear, but I thought it was brilliant, but it's not the best comedy. In fact, of all of these shows, it's the worst comedy. But it's one of the best shows. Great list. Really, really solid. What are you guys thinking? Shrinking should win, but Hacks might win. Hacks. Studio should win. I'm for Abbott or The Studio. Are you guys like me where you've seen every show on both these lists? Or which ones are you missing? Let's go into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. I know this is more of a TV show, so on Sunday we can focus a little less on TV maybe, but the Emmys dropped yesterday, so I didn't want to not talk about them. I am a TV person, and this is like what I care about. Rihanna and the Streamlabs. Happy belated birthday, Roxy. I'm so happy that I found you through Screen Junkies way back when because you brought me so much joy and laughter over the years. And I hope this is your best year yet. That's so fucking nice, Rihanna. Also, are you watching Bachelor in Paradise right now? Mad at Brian and Jeremy. I still have 20 minutes left of the second episode. So I'll be interested to know what happened there. I saw a little bit about the Brian stuff and a little bit about the Jeremy stuff, but I don't know what final decisions were. I am watching Bachelor in Paradise. People seem to really not like the season so far. I'm curious when the older bachelors are going to come in, golden bachelors are going to come in. Who do I like the most? I'm not sure who's really working for me. Is anybody watching Big Brother, by the way? I want to know who people are liking over there. Let's look at the Bachelor in Paradise cast and see. Is there anybody else watching Bachelor in Paradise? BIP cast. BIP cast, baby. Okay. I like Alex a lot. She's so bad at flirting and so endearing. She's so sweet. I feel for her. I feel bad. I felt bad for Hakeem. Zoe is doing the most. Kat seems like a completely different person. That Jess relationship seems like it's going super duper strong, which is fun and exciting for them, I guess. Really into Bailey this season, and I feel for her. Dale is such a smoke show. It's like hard to even listen to what he's saying because he's just so dreamy. It's incredible. Jeremy, there was one point where oh my God, what's the bartender's name? Wes? No. What's his name? What's the bartender's name on the show? Love him. I'm forgetting his name, but he was like, am I the only one who thinks that Jeremy is way out of all these women are way out of Jeremy's league? And I was like, you are not the only one who thinks that. I like Jeremy, but like he's got Playboy vibes. Spencer is the man. I love that he like has honed in. Yeah, those are my thoughts so far on some of the people. I like Lexi a lot. I thought the way that her and Susie navigated the situation was really good. I was kind of sad to see Sam gone because he was such a villain that I thought it'd be really fun to have him around for longer. That's a little bit of my Bachelor in Paradise thoughts. Joe Otis in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, ever kiss someone and then immediately after they go, whoa, like they're the live studio audience on a 90s sitcom, or am I the only unhinged weirdo who does post-kiss crowd reactions? Okay, Joe, so what you're saying here is that you kiss somebody and then you stop and you pretend to be an audience and you say like, whoa, the crowd goes wild, like that kind of thing? Or are you trying to say you're so enamored by the kiss and you're like, whoa, like holy crap, that was a good kiss? Because I don't think I've ever pretended to be the audience, but I definitely have been taken aback by a kiss before where I'm like, whew, that was a good one. So let me know which question you're asking and weigh in the chat. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Mike Joyce with that big support. Woo-wee! Missed your birthday stream. So here's me wishing you a happy belated birthday. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, my dude. I am 34. That is officially my mid-30s, baby. Ash, a new guy in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, said, I just looked at the lists. Out of all the nominations, Last of Us is the only show where I've watched the most recent season. Andor, Severance, White Lotus, Abbott, What We Do in the Shadows, Only Murders, and Bear I've seen previous seasons of. LOL. You're not caught up on any of that? Ash, what happened with your Andor binging? What's going on? Kevin Meek in the Streamlabs with that big support. Thank you. Kevin says, don't really watch award shows, but Shrinking is a goddamn masterpiece, as he spelled it, G-A-H-D. Goddamn masterpiece. Should win the Emmy for everything. Hope you are all doing well and have good night. Good shit, rocks. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. I feel so enamored with Shrinking, but in full transparency, I was always enamored with Shrinking. I love Shrinking. I talked about Shrinking nonstop. I got so many people to watch Shrinking. And then after that, they invited me and I met the entire effing cast and did a set visit. So now I love it even more. I went and saw them all speak and like behind the scenes of how it goes on set and whatnot and just talking to them. And I was always loving Shrinking. And now I just feel so obsessed with Shrinking. Like obsessed. Oof. Love that show. But I'm telling you guys, Stick. Stick is so good. If you're looking for a new show, that should be it. Of course, if you've already watched Shrinking. Stick is just currently on. So, where did I just put all my screens? What is happening? I don't know how I did that. I don't understand how to work a PC. I just want a working MacBook again. Ugh. The complaining is real. It's like, you have to choose wisely. Do I get new furniture because it's all falling apart? Do I get a computer because I need it? Do I get a new phone because mine is old and not working? Do I go to Europe because that's what I want to do with my money? Gotta make these choices. Muy difícil. My Duolingo, I'm on like day 500 and something. Making my way, doing my thing. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Okay, continuing to go with the Emmy noms. Let's see what we got. I'm just looking at the Bachelor in Paradise cast still. Okay, best limited series. This category, I've also seen everything in this category, and this season is the best season for best limited series that we've had in years. Adolescence, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, and The Penguin. Unfortunately, 3 of my top 10 favorite shows of the year are in this category. But I have to give it to Adolescence because I think Adolescence is the best show of the year. My favorite show might be Dying for Sex. I think Dying for Sex was so brilliant. I was cracking up. I was hysterically crying. I was so connected to these characters. And then when I was watching The Penguin, I was like, this show is, all of the elements are there. This show is so good. I think Adolescence is going to win this one because the Emmys does like when there is something different that really stands out that year. And the fact that every episode was a one-shotter. I mean, this show was like, it floored me. It floored me. I was just absolutely taken aback by how brilliantly done the timing of this was. But the show that moved me the most of the year is Dying for Sex. So, I wouldn't be mad if Black Mirror or Monsters won. Now, I think that the story of Monsters is like the most salacious and true, even though some parts are not and whatever. But this was more about the performances, I felt. So I don't think that one should win. There were some great episodes of Black Mirror this season. I covered that for Real Rejects with Greg. We loved it. Loved it. Let's go to Best Actor for a Drama. Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Pedro Pascal, The Last of Us, Adam Scott for Severance, and Noah Wyle for The Pit. Killer category of all massive stars. There's no small names nominated this year for Best Actor. These are all huge stars. Pedro Pascal maybe is the biggest living star on the planet right now. Sterling K. Brown, Gary Oldman, Adam Scott, Noah Wyle are all like extremely recognizable names. I guess that Adam Scott might be the least recognizable of those, but he's still huge. I think I wouldn't be mad at any of these, but we talked about this a little bit on Christian's show. Pedro Pascal is nominated for the wrong category. He shouldn't be nominated for Best Actor. He should be nominated for Best Supporting. He wasn't in enough episodes to be Best Actor. He did leave such a presence, though, and he did an amazing job. And I think I might honestly give it to him if he was supporting. But as Best Actor, I just don't think you can give it to him over some of these other actors. There's one scene of Noah Wyle towards the end of The Pit that I feel like should win him this this Emmy. There's this one scene where he absolutely breaks down over something that was like, holy fuck. But he does an amazing job the entire season. I think Noah would have my vote. Adam Scott did such a great job in Severance, but he wasn't the standout performance for me of this year. Gary Oldman's always great. And I think Sterling K. Brown, it was just like shocking that this show seemingly came out of nowhere and he was so wonderful in it, but it wasn't something that we haven't seen from Sterling K. Brown in the past. For Best Actress in a Drama, Kathy Bates, Matlock, Sharon Horgan, Bad Sisters, Britt Lauer, Severance, Bella Ramsey, The Last of Us, and Kerry Russell, The Diplomat. I'm actually really excited that Bella Ramsey was nominated in this category. I think she was amazing. I think she just did such a great job, and I didn't have the qualms that other people did. Kerry Russell's great. Sharon's great. Kathy's always great. I think my vote here is for Britt Lauer. She is playing multiple different people and sometimes playing people pretending to be people. And I thought her performance this season was so powerful. I think that Britt Lauer would get this for me. For Best Actor in a Comedy, Adam Brody, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Martin Short, and Jeremy Allen White. Same conversation that we were having earlier. Jeremy Allen White does not tell one joke. There is nothing funny about his performance in The Bear. No comedy in his performance in The Bear. It is like devastating. Is it an amazing performance? Yes, it's a flawless performance. But Best Actor for a Comedy, when you're going up against them like Martin Short or Seth Rogen, it's very different. I kind of feel the same way about Jason Segel. It's much more of a straight man than a comedy. And Adam Brody is more in that Jason Segel category for this. So I think if we're just saying like best actor in a comedy this season, oh man. Part of me wants to give it to Jason Segel because that performance was perfect, but I feel like the one that's being talked about the most is Seth Rogen, which would be really cool. For Best Actress in a Comedy, Kristen Bell, Uzo Aduba, Quinta Brunson, Io DeBerry, and Jean Smart. It's almost impossible for me to ever vote against Jean Smart because it's Jean Smart and she's so good. I really like The Residents, but this is a surprising nomination. She did carry the show on her back, though. Great performance by Kristen Bell. I give it to Jean Smart. She's just so good. She's why Hacks works. She's so good. How are you guys feeling about these? Let me know. Curious your thoughts. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. Shout out to the people who have Streamlabs in so far. Shout out to Kevin Meek, Ash, Mike Joyce, Joe Otis, Rihanna, RQMDSMD, and Lloyd Nance. Y'all are the shit. You're the reason I'm able to continue doing the show on Wednesdays and Sundays. So send in that support. This upcoming Sunday, I have a bachelorette party in San Diego that I'll be coming back from. Hopefully I make it back in time for the show. If I don't, and I think it's getting too late, I'll probably do the same thing I did last week where I go live an additional day. Not Monday because I'm seeing Fantastic Four that day, but we will figure it out. I will keep you guys posted. Just letting you guys know as soon as I know. My schedule has been wonky recently, but still prioritizing you babies. Best Actor, Limited Series, or TV Movie. Colin Farrell, Stephen Graham, Jake Gyllenhaal, Brian Tyree Henry, and Cooper Koch, I think is how you say his last name, but I'm not sure. The reason, and good for Cooper that he got nominated for this. The reason that Cooper is nominated for Monsters of the Lyle and Eric Menendez's Story is because he gives what would be considered like one of the best episode performances of the year, where it is a slow one-take shot, which, by the way, is what Stephen Graham was what Adolescence did for 4 episodes, but this was just on one person. It's just on Cooper. For one full episode, it just slowly punches in on him in basically like an interrogation room where he's talking to his lawyer and he's sitting there and it's just on him. It was like a stage play. He did it 8 times in a row. It is just such a great performance that after it happened, everyone was like, oh, this guy's going to get nominated for an Emmy for this episode. And I thought he was great throughout the series too. He was so good. But he's got some stiff competition and he's the only person who is not a recognizable name on this list. Colin Farrell for The Penguin, Stephen Graham for Adolescence. I guess Stephen Graham is not as famous as Colin Farrell or Jake Gyllenhaal or Brian Tyree Henry, but still more famous than Cooper. Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent. It was an excellent performance as well. I'm glad to see that show get a little love because I did like it a lot. Brian Tyree Henry, you guys know I didn't see Dope Thief, so I have to go watch that in order to talk about this. Stephen Graham gives the performance of a lifetime in Adolescence. It is so good. But I kind of don't know how you don't give this to Colin Farrell. Him as the Penguin is, I mean, truly transformative. It's so good. He is so good in that role. He's like too good in that role. He would have my vote, even though I'll be happy with anybody who wins this category. Best Actress, Limited Series, or TV Movie. Cate Blanchett, disclaimer. I didn't love that show the same way everybody else did. Megan Fahey for Sirens. I'm kind of surprised about that nomination, even though she was excellent. Kristen Milioti for The Penguin. Rashida Jones for Black Mirror. Such a great job. Michelle Williams for Dying for Sex. I had thought, after seeing The Penguin, that Kristen Milioti would have my vote. It is such an incredible performance. I think it might even be a stronger performance than Colin Farrell's, as crazy as that sounds. I might give this to Michelle Williams. She was transformative her emotion, I used transformative twice this episode, and that's lame. Her emotions in dying for sex, like what she had to go through, she put herself through the ringer. And if she was not as flawless as she was, the entire show would not have worked. So I'm kind of stuck between them. And this is a stacked list. Rashida Jones was amazing in Black Mirror, and in a different year, I might think that she was the best performance because that was a crazy hell of a performance. And it's cool that she got the nom for this. But it's one episode, so it's hard to compare that to what something like Michelle Williams or Kristen Milioti had to do. I'm back and forth between them. Who do you guys think? Kristen keeps losing to awards to Jodie. Well, she won't lose this one to Jodie. Emma Corrin should be there over Rashida. I think that I wouldn't have been bummed if Emma Corrin was there because they did amazing as well. But I also thought Rashida did amazing. Equally good. So, tough category. Supporting actor drama, Zach Cherry, Walton Goggins, Jason Isaacs, James Marsden, Sam Rockwell, John Turturro, and Tremel Tillman. I feel like, so all of these are coming from White Lotus or Severance other than James Marsden for Paradise. I don't know. Maybe people will split votes here. And if they do, I guess James Marsden could squeak through with the Paradise win. But I kind of think that Tremel Tillman might take this. He's just the most talked about person right now. He was excellent in Severance this season. And I think it's possible he pulls this out. If not him, like if it's somebody from White Lotus, who do you guys think? Walton, Jason, or Sam? I kind of want to give it to Sam, which is crazy. But I think most people would say Walton. What do you guys think? I think it's a little annoying when shows have this many people nominated. But I get why they do it. How do you guys feel? Who would win for Severance? Who would win for White Lotus? Who do you think is going to win overall? And does James Marsden even have a chance with Paradise? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer super chat in. I want your guys' thoughts. Thank you to those who have Streamlabs in so far. Keep sending it in. It's the only reason I'm able to continue doing the show. So much appreciated. Joe Otis in the Streamlabs. He said, Roxy, it's not whoa like Joey from Friends, like Joey Lawrence. It's woo like Ric Flair, like Uncle Jesse. Just said, have mercy. Or Ross kissed Rachel for the first time. So you say woo afterwards, like you kiss and you say woo. That's wild. Does that work well for you? No judgment. Just curious. Okay, you guys think Walton? Yeah, I kind of think Sam was in the wrong category too, dude. But he was so good. So good. All right. Supporting actress for drama, Patricia Arquette, Carrie Coon, Catherine Lanasa. Is that how you say her name? Lanasa. Julianne Nicholson, Parker Posey, Natasha Rothwell, Amy Lou Wood. The person with the most buzz on their name is probably Parker Posey for this season. It's a lot of White Lotus. That's 4 White Lotus's noms. That's 4 White Lotus noms. It's too many. Amy Lou Wood also has a lot of oomph behind her right now. Papa, no. And I loved Carrie's performance, but because it's 4 noms for White Lotus, Patricia Arquette might be able to pull this out for Severance. Julianne Nicholson was so good in Paradise, too. I think Parker Posey's going to win this. I think so. Supporting actor in a comedy, Ike Barinholtz, Coleman Domingo, Harrison Ford, Jeff Hiller, Eben Moss Backrack, Michael Urie, and Bowen Yang. I'm stoked that somebody somewhere got a little love here. Jeff Hiller's amazing. and Somebody Somewhere, such a great show. So underrated, and it continued to be underrated for every season. So that's exciting that he got a nomination. I don't think he'll win. Coleman Domingo also getting nominated for 4 seasons. Nice to get a little love for 4 seasons, but I don't think he'll win either. I think my vote would probably be, if we're just doing, I think my vote is probably for Harrison Ford. He's incredible in Shrinking, and so is Michael Urie, but it might be Harrison Ford, or honestly, it might be Ike Barinholtz, who's also like hysterical in the studio. How do you guys feel? What do you think? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Let's go to the super chat now. See what you guys are talking about. Keep Streamlabs in. Alan Smithy says, I'm into award shows for fun, but I don't like when people get upset at what is or isn't nominated. Snubs seem to be an obsession with some people. I hear you. Sometimes I'll get upset about it, but I try not to either, just because I think that usually the ones that are nominated are excellent, unless I think something nominated was like so offensive or trash. I think this is a fair statement. But sometimes when you love something so much and you've watched it and you're like, oh, I just want this to be nominated. Like, for example, this year, luckily Dying for Sex got a lot of love. If it hadn't, I would have been like, you guys missed because you didn't see it, because it clearly is one of the best shows, but it did get it. So it wasn't snubbed, but I was ready to say that show got snubbed, but then it didn't. Andrew Thomas, Sexy Andrew, says, hey, sexy country woman, Roxy. Am I a little bit country today? All right. Thank you, Andrew. I like that the Penguin got some Emmy nominations. I do too, Andrew. I think it's really cool. Yeehaw. Tim Sim in the super chat. Thank you for that big support. What I really don't understand is this year's Emmys noms is what do they have against, in this year's Emmys noms is what do they have against the Andor cast? Because the numerous nomination snubs for the amazing cast includes Audria, Stellan, Genevieve, and even Diego is criminal. I am a little surprised by that because it did get so many noms. Andor got so many noms, but the performance noms were not there. I think that if it had received for Diego, people would be less bummed. He's the only, I don't know where you would put Audria, and I thought it was a really good performance, but there's so many good performances this year. So many good ones. You guys know it wasn't my favorite show of the year, but I still thought it was very good. It's very good. And especially in the latter half, I thought it was excellent. And the performances were great. At least the show's getting some love, though. But surprising to see more of The Last of Us get nominated for performance than Andor. I'm just watching all of the leather rip. Watching the leather rip. So sad. Thank you for those super chats. Streamlabs in. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Send in that support as we continue this Emmys conversation. Let me pull up who we got next. What's the next category? Must see. Supporting actress for comedy, Liza Colin-Zayas for The Bear, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Catherine Hahn, Studio, Janelle James, Abbott Elementary, Catherine O'Hara, Studio, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Abbott Elementary, and Jessica Williams for Shrinking. Okay, these are like the greatest actresses ever. Catherine Hahn was so funny. 2 different Abbott nominations. It's the only one that has 2, so they might sometimes split. But I think that my honest answer for this season, for this cast, is probably Janelle James. She makes me like cry laughing. She's so funny. She is so funny on that show. They're all really, really talented. I just think that Janelle James is exactly the kind of nomination that should win in terms of she is a supporting actress on the show and is being nominated for comedy. And she's the funniest. She's the funniest of all of these people in this role. She's so good. I like take notes from her when I'm watching some of her mannerisms because she's a full body entertainer and vocally too. Oof, she's so good. I also love Jessica Williams, and you guys know I met her this year, and I'm just completely obsessed with her. But nobody makes me laugh like Janelle does. So if we're picking the funniest supporting actress of the year, it's Janelle. If we're picking just the best actress in a comedy in this, it's really anybody's game. Really, truly, you could give this to any of them. So those are my thoughts. It would be really cool to see Janelle take this home. She's so funny. Oh, Brittany, you're with me? Ooh, yay. Leonard's between Jessica and Cheryl. Okay. I feel you. I mean, I can't knock any of them. Supporting actor for limited series or movies, Javier Bardem, Bill Camp, Owen Cooper, Rob Delaney, Peter Sarsgaard, and Ashley Walters. So that's 2 for Adolescence. That's 2 for Presumed Innocent. That is 1 for Monsters and 1 for Dying for Sex. Really strong nominations. I don't think he's going to win, but I think I give this to Rob Delaney. Rob Delaney is so good in that show. He takes a role that should be like laughable and makes it so heartfelt and emotionally charged. So good. But I understand, man, it's going to be really hard to not give this to Owen Cooper because, and I don't actually know, I haven't heard anybody really talking about him, but I wonder if he'd be the youngest to ever win it. I think he was probably like 13 when he shot this, 14. I think he's like 15 years old. He is that show. You don't know what's going on, but you do know what's going on. It is the performance of a lifetime, and he's a child. So maybe, honestly, it's interesting that he's being nominated for supporting because I guess, but especially because in the last episode, but I guess I'd actually give it to him. Owen Cooper is so phenomenal and fantastic. I don't care that he's a kid. I couldn't take my eyes off him. It was another performance where I watched it. When I watched it, I thought, there's no way they're going to snub him for this because this is just the greatest performance. It's all in his eyes, and it's so intentional, and he's so young and about to be just an absolute star. So I think it'd be Owen Cooper, but it'd be kind of cool to see somebody win for a performance like that. Let's see what you guys are talking about. He's 15 now, and he'd be the youngest winner in the category. Yeah. I'm hearing buzz for Owen. Oh, interesting. Owen Cooper easily. Okay, so I guess we're on the same page. He's so good. It's kind of like if one thing wins for that show, I think it should be the show that wins, but the second thing that should win would be him. Supporting actress for a limited series or movie, Erin Doherty for Adolescence, Ruth Negga for Presumed Innocent, Deidre O'Connell for The Penguin, Chloe Sevigny, sorry, I always say her last name wrong, for Monsters, Jenny Slate for Dying for Sex, and Christine Tremarco for Adolescence. This was my favorite performance of Jenny Slate's ever. I am so partial to this show. I give it to Jenny Slate. And this is actually something that I think she might win for. Ruth did an amazing job in Presumed Innocent. She did an amazing job. Oh, and Deirdre O'Connell did an amazing job too. In The Penguin. God damn it. Every time I think I have my answer, then I look and I'm like, I mean, that mom in Penguin was like insanely good. I'm assuming that's who Deidre O'Connell is. I didn't even look her up, but I'm assuming because supporting, and that was like the craziest role, especially remember when she was like kidnapped and that scene. Oh my God, she was so good. She might win. She could win, and I would be happy with that. Jenny Slate also was amazing though. And it was a different kind of performance for her, where she had to use comedy kind of as a shield, but you could see what was really going on behind that. Very different. I love Jenny Slate. I'm a big Jenny Slate. I love her work. So good. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. Send in that support as we continue down this list. Comedy guest actor John Bernthal, Bryan Cranston, Dave Franco, Ron Howard, Martin Scorsese, Anthony Mackie. So there are 5 nominations for the studio, and the only non-studio nomination is for John Bernthal in The Bear. I don't think he will win. I think it will be somebody from the studio, and I think my vote would go to Bryan Cranston. It's unbelievable to see this category of nominations. My vote would be Bryan Cranston. All of them have merit to it. If Martin Scorsese wins this, good on him. Good on him. Because what a wild category. Comedy guest actress, Olivia Colman, Jamie Lee Curtis, Cynthia Erivo, Robbie Hoffman, Zoe Kravitz, and Julianne Nicholson. Wow, Julianne Nicholson in Hacks was so funny. I also love Robbie Hoffman. I'm loving the blow up of Robbie Hoffman because I love Gabby from Bachelor Nation. Olivia Colman on The Bear, Jamie Lee Curtis on The Bear. I think of the two of them, I would give it to Jamie Lee Curtis. Cynthia Erivo was amazing in Poker Face. It was so good. She had to play like 7 roles. And she was just, that was like incredibly hard. Zoe Kravitz is probably the one that made me laugh the most of all of these. The Zoe Kravitz cameo was maybe my favorite guest actor on a show this year. So I might give it to Zoe Kravitz, especially because it's comedy and she made me laugh. We're looking at like huge actors here. Julianne Nicholson was hysterical in Hacks though. And she's like a drug-riddled dancer. It's wild. Drama guest actor, Giancarlo Esposito for The Boys. Insane. Scott Glenn for The White Lotus. Insane. Sean Hattasey for The Pit. Joe Pantoliano for The Last of Us. He was amazing in that episode. Forrest Whitaker for Andor and Jeffrey Wright for The Last of Us. I might give this to Joe. He was so good in that episode. Who is Sean Hattasey from The Pit? Let me look up who that is. It's so cool when you watch all of these and you can actually talk about it. It's like, oh no, I've seen all of these. Oh, he was so great. He came through and he was helpful with trauma stuff. He was so great. I think I'd go with Joe for The Last of Us. Joey Pants. Yeah, that'd be my vote. Okay. Happy to see Cynthia for Poker Face, but Zoe screaming where Zoe killed me. I know, that was the funniest thing ever. Joey Pants. Yeah. So you guys are with me? Or are you just saying his name because it's fun, or you think that he should win? That was fun to react to for Real Rejects. His scene. Oh, I don't mean fun, like gutting, but great. Ash, a new guy in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, you can come back to this after Emmy stuff. Okay, I will come back to that after Emmy stuff. Everybody continue Streamlabsing in. Oh my God, we've almost done an hour on the Emmys. We have other things to cover. Let's keep it pushing. For guest actress for a drama, Jane Alexander for Severance, Gwendolyn Christie for Severance, Caitlin Dever for The Last of Us, Sherry Jones for The Handmaid's Tale, and Catherine O'Hara for The Last of Us. I will tell you guys, I love The Handmaid's Tale. I was a huge Handmaid's Tale fan. The finale pissed me off so much that I don't even care that this wasn't nominated for its final season for Best Drama. Because it probably should have been, but the finale made me so bummed. It's kind of interesting that this is the first thing I'm seeing it nominated for. Is it nominated for anything else? That's wild. None of the performances even? That is crazy. For its final season? Wow. Cherry Jones would not have been the nomination I would have given the show. Huh. What a fall from grace that show had. The finale pissed me off. I think that I probably give this to. It's interesting because it's drama guest actress, so I think probably Caitlin Dever. But Catherine O'Hara in The Last of Us is awesome. She's just kind of like a little bit of comedic relief to me. But I think I'd give this to Caitlin. Variety scripted series Last Week Tonight with John Oliver or SNL. It's interesting that now that those are the categories and how they do it. I think probably Last Week Tonight will win. I'm a big SNL girl though. Host for a reality competition program: RuPaul Charles, Alan Cumming, Kristen Kish, Jeff Probst, and the Sharks. Wow, I didn't know the Sharks get nominated like that. I don't watch any of these shows. I know you guys are obsessed. I do watch Shark Tank. I'm obsessed with that show. I used to watch every episode of Survivor. I haven't seen Traders yet, and the Traders yet, and I don't watch RuPaul, and I don't watch Top Chef. So I don't know. People love Alan Cumming though. I interviewed him once. He was awesome. TV movie: Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. Didn't see it. The Gorge. Didn't see it. I started it, but then something happened. I don't know. Rebel Ridge, Mountainhead, and Nonus. I've watched none of these. So no idea. You guys tell me, which one should I watch? Animated program: Arcane, Bob's Burgers, Common Side Effects, Love, Death, and Robots, and The Simpsons. I watched none of these. Variety special: Ali Wong, Single Lady. So good. Adam Sandler, Love You. Loved it. Bill Burr, Drop Dead Years. Conan O'Brien, The Kennedy Center. Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. It was so good. Sarah Silverman, Postmortem. I can't believe this was nominated because I loved this, but I did not think people were going to like this because it was so dark. Postmortem, but I thought it was brilliantly done. I know Sarah Silverman is very controversial for a lot of you guys, but just speaking as a comedian, and I think she's said some not great things, but I also in general tend to love her. Loved Sarah Silverman, Postmortem, and your friend Nate Brigates, was like my introduction to him, and then I went and binged so much of his shit because he's so funny. I kind of think that Nate might win this because he's just on such a hot streak right now. But if I'm really answering this based off of what I thought was the absolute funniest, like best, I think I might go Ali Wong. I also loved what the Conan O'Brien thing was. I think that was an amazing job. So streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Documentary or nonfiction special: Deaf President Now, Martha, Pee Wee as himself, and Sly Lives. I actually didn't, and Will and Harper. I didn't watch any of these. I heard Will and Harper was amazing. I should check some of these out. Sorry, documentary, nonfiction series: Chef's Table, 100-Foot Wave, Simone Biles Rising, SNL 50, Beyond Saturday Night Live, and Social Studies. I watched SNL 50. I haven't seen the rest of these, so I can't speak on it. Competition program: Amazing Race, RuPaul, Survivor, Top Chef, Traders. Can't speak on it. Variety show: Daily Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I like dabble in all of these, but not enough to tell you guys really what should win. Directing for a drama series. Okay, so we started getting to the directing categories. Sorry, I'm going to skip these because we have talked about the Emmys for a long time, and I want to get to your guys' questions, comments, concerns, and I also want to talk a little bit about the Epstein list, which will be a hard pivot when we get there. Streamlabs in, super chat in, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. La, 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 blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. Going over to you guys in these Streamlabs. Let's see what's up. Ash in the Streamlabs. All right, his things are not Emmys related, and we're transferring out of Emmys, so you can send in any more Emmys things if you guys want, but let's use these to pivot. You can go back to this after Emmy stuff, but the black box analysis was released for that Air India flight that crashed. The conclusion is that somebody in the cockpit intentionally cut the fuel to engine 1 shortly after takeoff. We'll never know why. What? That wasn't even on my radar as a list of possibilities of what happened. What the fuck? You think we really will never know why? You don't think anything will come out, like looking through all of his info about why? Oh my God, dude. Oy vey. Ash also says, Just chills me to the bone that they suspect the captain, the senior pilot, deliberately sabotaged the takeoff. 260 people died, and then he died. And now it's like investigators can try to speculate why, but like, who does that help? I think, Ash, there's got to be ways to maybe figure out, like, was there an email that was sent to him? Was there a conversation he had with somebody? Was he paid to do it? Was there a big lump sum of money that's now overseas for his family or something? Like, there's, I guess the answer to why is like to try to prevent it from happening again or see why it happened in the first place. So I guess that would be why to look into it. But that's fucking horrific. God damn it. This is going to be the most insensitive way that I can phrase this, but I always say this about people who are like mass shooters and then kill themselves, or a pilot who took himself out. Like, not that you should ever commit suicide, but if your plan is to commit suicide, do you have to take out 200 plus other people with you? Like, just take yourself out. There's no need to fucking take everybody down with you. And again, I don't want anybody to ever do that, but like, when you see people who go to festivals and they kill 15 people and then kill themselves, it's like, if you were going to just kill yourself, just fucking do it and don't do the rest of it. I know that's not a sensitive way to talk about it, and it definitely demonetized me from my YouTube show today, but it's frustrating to watch people who like who have to destroy other people's lives. It's horrifying. Just destroy your own fucking life if you're going to destroy somebody's life. Ugh, horrible. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer, super chat in. Speaking of people who destroyed so many people's lives before having his own life destroyed, Epstein. I have a really controversial take on this, and I don't know that you guys are going to like it. The Epstein list has not been released, and there are people on both sides of the aisle that are flipping out about that. Trump claimed he was going to release it. He hasn't released it. People think it's because he's on it. Then we heard that the list didn't actually exist, that they didn't have it. Then we heard that they did have it. And he's like, why does everybody want to see this list? And people think that Clinton's on it, and people think Trump's on it, and people think that everybody's on it. And I have to tell you guys, I don't give a fuck about the list. I bet they're both on it. I bet so many motherfuckers are on it. I bet that they did horrific, awful things. But just releasing a list doesn't even tell us what they did on the island. Then it's just going to release more speculation. We already know that Epstein and Trump were buddies. We already have photos of them together. What difference does it make if he's on the list or not? We also already know what Trump is capable of and what type of person he is. His name being on this list changes absolutely fucking nothing. He was already accused of raping a child who was 13 years old. Who said that this happened? Why are we so obsessed with releasing his name from this list? What difference is it going to make? His supporters aren't going to turn on him because his name's on the list. Does anybody agree with me at all? Like, we're wasting so much time on things like this. I saw today that Trump was like, he did that thing where now it's going to be no more corn syrup and Coca-Cola here. It's going to be cane sugar here. And he like put out a post on it, and then Gavin Newsom reposted his post and was like, yeah, because that makes me forget who's on the Epstein list. And go Gavin Newsom. Honestly, you guys know I haven't liked him for a long time, but the way he's handled this entire Trump thing is A, hysterical, and B, he fights fire with fire, which no other Democrats do. So I kind of just like keep fanning the flames, Gavin. I certainly would rather you be our president, even though I think that you also are extremely problematic, but not anywhere close. But it's kind of just like, I don't know what the list is going to do. Am I curious like the rest of you guys? Yeah, but releasing the list is not going to change who supports him. It's not going to change the fact that he's president. It's not going to change anything. So why we're so focused on this as opposed to like the big beautiful bill. Do I want to see the list? Yes. Do I think it'll make a difference? No. There's photos of them. They were homies. Nobody's denying that. So it's just like, I think that what's going to happen is the list would come out, which it's not going to because it's not going to release it, I guess. But it would come out and it would have both Democrats and Republicans on there. And then people would point. See, Bill Clinton was on there. See, Donald Trump was on there. And we would be right where we are. Right here. What are your thoughts? Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider super chat. And I am going to be getting out of here relatively soon because we've been here for an hour and 5 minutes. I wasn't thinking much about it, but the switch up from release the list to it actually doesn't exist is absurd. They don't get to get away with this shit. Are you surprised? Like, that's the part that I'm kind of confused about with people. It's like, yeah, dog, they've been switching things up the whole time. They never have not been switching things up. It is so like them to be like, we're going to release this list. Actually, it doesn't exist. Shocked said no one ever. Makes perfect sense. That's also what they did with the UAP stuff, by the way. And it's also what we've been doing with the JFK assassination stuff for years. So those files don't exist. This doesn't exist. We have it, but it doesn't exist. What? Pushing the issues is changing minds of some of his followers, so it's worth it to me. Maybe. I haven't seen anybody's mind be changed, but I'm not saying it's impossible. And we got to keep trying. So if this list, the possibility of the list even changes one person's mind about him, I guess. Mike Joyce in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider says, hopefully this Epstein drama is what finally breaks MAGA apart. They seem to really care about it. It would be unfortunate if his fans were mad enough to take action. Also, did you notice what's going on with the bruise on Trump's hand? Strange stuff. No, I don't know about the bruise on his hand. What is going on? Tell me about that. Curious. Sounds intense. Let's see. If I just look up Trump's bruised hand, will it come up? Trump's bruised hand. White House tries to shake off Trump's bizarre hand makeup. Let's see. Does he wear bizarre hand makeup? Oh, huh. All right. Does look a little funky, but nothing that oh, okay, here, the bruise on the back of his hand. This happens a lot with my grandparents, where they bruise kind of easily there in that location. This says that it's from too much handshaking. But that wouldn't be on the list of ideas of what caused it. What would it be? Oh, an IV needle? No, my grandparents get so many. Papa used to get so many bruises right there. I don't know why, but he did. I don't know. It's funny the things that people focus on. I don't think that this is going to be the thing that breaks MAGA apart. If I did, I think I'd be more focused on it. But, I guess you never know. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider. Get in your final question, comments, concerns, thoughts. Thank you to Mike Joyce, A New Guy Ash, Joe Otis, Kevin Meek, Rihanna, RQMDSMD, Lloyd Nance. You guys absolutely rock. And to our super chatters, Sexy Andrew Thomas, Tim Sim, and Alan Smithy. Couldn't do the show without you guys. I had one more thing I know I wanted to talk about. What was it? Oh, Jane's Addiction lawsuit. Do you guys know about this? I didn't remember anything about this. And then I was looking into it and I was like, what happened here? Do you guys remember Jane's Addiction? They were a cool rock band. Probably the most famous person in it was Dave Navarro, who was their guitarist. But they had a crazy altercation. I think it was at Lollapalooza. Let me try to look it up. Years ago. And now there is a big lawsuit happening. And I was like, oh, yeah. It's an article coming from Rolling Stone. Jane's Addiction members sue Perry Farrell for assault battery over onstage fight. The complaint also accuses Farrell of intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and breach of contract. They had this big old fight on stage. Was it Lollapalooza or where was it? Jane's Addiction member Dave Navarro, Eric Avery, and Stephen Perkins have filed a lawsuit against frontman Perry Farrell in the aftermath of September 2024. Oh, I thought it was a couple years ago. I guess it was just in September. On-stage scuffle between Navarro and Farrell that resulted in the cancellation of the reunion tour and the dissolution of the groundbreaking alt-rock act. The complaint filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court and obtained by Rolling Stone accuses Farrell of assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and breach of contract. The suit also alleges that the group lost over $10 million as a result of the tour's cancellation and cessation of all band's activity, including plans for the first album by classic hit lineup since 1990's Ritual de lo Habitual. They're also asking Farrell to pay all the group's outstanding bills stemming from the tour's cancellation. The band can no longer function as a result of the defendant's conduct, including his sudden violent outbursts and demonstrated inability to serve as the band's frontman. The 36-page complaint says the physical, emotional, and financial harms defendant has wrought have deeply impacted their plaintiffs, their families, and their loved ones, and it's time for defendant to face the consequences of his actions and be held accountable. This is yet another clear example of the group uniting to isolate and bully frontman Perry Farrell. Farrell's attorney, Miles Cooley, said in a statement following the lawsuit, the timing of this baseless lawsuit is no coincidence. It is filed only after they caught wind of legal action coming from our side. It's a transparent attempt to control the narrative and present themselves as so-called good guys, a move that's both typical and predictable. Just like when they released a defamatory and entirely unfounded statement about Perry's mental health and unilaterally canceled the remaining tour dates without his input. They're once again scrambling to get ahead of the truth in a desperate effort to save face. The lawsuit pulls the curtain back on the inner workings of Jane's Addiction and reveals that Navarro received $25,000 a month from a disability insurance policy after long COVID forced him off the road in 2022. 2024, Navarro agreed to reunite with the group for a tour of Europe and North America. Navarro terminated his $25,000 per month in disability payments in order to return to work with the band, reads the complaint. Had Navarro not terminated the disability payments and given his condition, Navarro would have received the $25,000 payments for several years. For months, Navarro worked hard to prepare himself physically and mentally for touring, including by seeing doctors, nutritionists, therapists. The suit also reveals he postponed his wedding in Scotland to accommodate the tour routing, costing him $50,000 and lost deposits to various vendors. Wow, this is intense. What do you guys think? Do you guys care about this at all? Sounds like an interesting lawsuit. Usually it's like when there's three members of a band who all are against one, you're just like, yeah, that one is probably nuts-a-doodle, especially from the footage that we've seen. But it is interesting when a band breaks up, like, are you allowed to sue somebody for all those things? And I guess, yes, of course you are. It's also interesting to hear that he was on disability for $25,000 a month. I did not know that's how that worked, where the more money you had been making, the more money you get paid. I thought that capped at a certain point. Getting $25,000 a month from the government. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I could do a lot of things with that kind of money. That would be absolutely lovely money. So that. Oh, Jeremy was that the censored thing in the thumbnail? No. For the Emmy nominations, I thought this was very funny. Dax Shepard was very excited about his wife, Kristen Bell, being nominated for an Emmy. And then he posted this. He said, people might not know everything that happens behind the scenes in order to create an Emmy-nominated performance like Kristen's. This may or may not have been a part of her training, but it felt right. Congratulations. There was very funny celebrities commenting on this. Gwyneth Paltrow said, oh my God, Dax. Nina Dobrev said, ha ha ha, yes, go girl, sun's out, buns out for that Emmy. I just thought it was a really cute post. And her doing this yoga position with her high socks on and him like using a red square to cover half of her butt. They just seem like an adorable couple, and I was excited for her nomination, and I thought it was a very funny post, so I used it in my thumbnail because she looks fucking awesome. I'm stoked for her. It's her first Emmy nomination. Her husband's a supportive as fuck husband, and she's being nominated for playing like a romantic lead. And he's like, that's my girl. I just thought it was a really great post. So I just forgot to mention that. Thank you, Jeremy. Otherwise, people have been like, what the fuck is in her thumbnail? Of course, you thought that was in reference to something to do with Jane's addiction because it looks very rock and roll. Cute post. Yeah, the socks are nuts though, because like you would slip, but you do you, baby boo. And where your kids be at? I think they have kids. Hopefully they don't walk out and find mommy doing yoga like that. Unless they're super duper young. Those might be a wee bit scarring. Ash, a new guy in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer said, like Alex Jones and his Q reject followers are mind boggled. And they feel, the QAnon people, they feel betrayed. I don't know if it's betrayed enough to not vote for Donny Boy, but I think between his flips on Ukraine, taxes, spending, Epstein, it is actually making some realize he might lie. Wow. It's crazy to see what people's lines are. Like, where's the line for you? And if that's some people's line, yeah, I've seen the little bit of the Alex Jones flip, or who's the other one who's flipped a little bit? And I was like, what? Huh. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here because I'm going to cook me some dinner. If you have any final thoughts, Streamlabs them in, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. If you send it in after the show, I'll read it for the next show. If I get back in time for Sunday, I'll do Sunday. Otherwise, I will figure something else out. I will be in San Diego. Oh, there was a part 2. There was one before, I think. Sorry, Ash. Oh, Ash said, not specifically the list, but it's in fact it's factoring MAGA. Supporters who truly believe in the deep state and shit are actually thinking for themselves for once, are confused why he's not exposing the secret pedo elite. Oh, because they don't think he's on it, so they're confused. Interesting. Thank you for explaining that. Sorry I didn't read that, Ash. I got confuzzled. All right, my friends. Much love. Stay safe, stay sane. Put down the toilet seat and lid. We don't want those plumes. Do not trend with the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice, forever in the rainbow. We love you. We stand with the women of Iran. Some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden sparkles for the Zen one himself. I'm going to repeat this one more time. To the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. Absolutely fuck that, wherever you guys are. Horrible. What a time in this world. We got to keep reminding ourselves of happy things and positive things, because otherwise I feel like I just keep getting swallowed. I'm sure you guys do too. Not a good way to end the stream. Better way to end the stream. Let me think about something positive that's happened. I brought in the woman on my conservator too for a surgery this week, and it went well, and she's back home. So that's positive. And National Brain Tumor Society doing their thing. That is positive, helping people. And the sun has been shining. I liked Superman. The Emmy nominations were fun to talk about with you guys. You guys were all here. We had a good show. Those are some fun things. My birthday happened. People showed up for me. La, la, la. So nice. Okay. Those are things. Much love. Later.